There we go. All right. 2024 awaits. Design your year. Hello, everyone. My name is Tessa. I'm a marketing strategist, and this is 𝐒𝐲_. She's a business coach, and we are with Move to CEO, and today we're talking goals. And 𝐒𝐲 knows my resistance on goals. So if you're one of those people who's like, goal setting, this is like the worst thing. Well, first of all, we have to get out of that mindset if we're going to ever achieve more. So I love that 𝐒𝐲's here to remind me that I need to stop doing that and actually set some goals for my business and be able to achieve them. So I'm going to let 𝐒𝐲 take over since she's the master of this. I am clearly not.
Oh, okay. Well, you can ask me then the questions. Like,
I know,
help guide me here.
I am literally going to be going through this process too. And this is the year that I'm going to set goals and achieve them. Period.
Yes, I like it. Speak it out in faith and then do it, right? So now we're going to do it. So what does that actually look like? I actually just was training for somebody else's, mastermind, and we were talking about goals, and there are a few takeaways about goals. And I know everyone hates goals. I actually don't like goals either. I don't like SMART goals. So what I want you guys to really reframe what a goal is simply, what's the target? Like, that's it. Like, the goal is not the thing you do. It's the target. It's the vision board per se. It's the life that you want to live. It's whatever it is that you have that you want. That's what the goal is. The goal is just understanding, okay, like, what does that really mean? So like that's the very first thing is, you have a goal. Let's say it's weight loss, right? I want to lose weight this year. Okay, great. Awesome. So do I. I've been wanting that for a while now. So what are you going to do? Like, not what are you going to do, but what does that really mean, right? So what does that mean? Like, I want to lose weight. Awesome. How much weight? By when? What's the reasoning, right? Because if it's just like I just want to lose weight. Well, if you lose a pound, you've been successful. Ta-da. Congratulations. Like, you know what I mean? So really, you have to be very specific about what that really looks like, and very clear too. So for example, I always share this whenever I talk about goals, and Tessa already knows this, is I want to farm.
I know. Right? I love this example because this is the best.
So I want to farm. I want animals on my farm that I can pet, that I can, play with. I want bees, all these things. Now, do I want to learn how to do all these things? And do I want, no,
you don't want to get up at 5 a.m. to milk a cow?
No. I mean, maybe I'll change my mind eventually, but as of now, that's not what I want. So really, when I think about it, like, sometimes we have this like idea of what we want, but we don't actually understand what comes with that, right? So it's like this idea of like, I want my business to be so successful. I want to, have clients who are, waiting in line to get into the restaurant. Let's pretend that's it, right? But we don't think about, okay, well, that also means I'm going to need to hire more people. I'm going to need to, be able to duplicate this process. I'm going to probably need to work more, whatever it is. We don't actually think about the responsibility involved with the thing we want. And I think that a lot of people forget that what we want, there is a kind of like a surcharge, a cost, right? The cost is your comfort. The cost is, change. Like, those are two of the greatest costs you will pay for any goal that you want to achieve. So I want to lose weight. Okay, great. You can go on a binge diet. I don't suggest it, but you go on a binge diet, you've lost the weight. Awesome. And then you get off the binge diet and then you gain 40 pounds. So really, what is the cost? The cost is, if you really want to lose the weight and keep it off, is that there has to be a change in what you are doing. Right there, the cost is your comfort of not always like for me, if I get bored, I want to eat. So I have to sacrifice that. Right. And so we have to really understand what is the goal and get very clear about what that looks like. So Tessa, do you have any questions for me?
What I actually, because you mentioned that, I think what that is part of it is setting your goal. You're thinking of all the things, like the bigness of this and how much it's going to take to get there. But I love what you said. Like, is that really where you want to be? Is having this giant company where you want to be? Or is it actually that you want to be able to take Monday and Friday off? So I don't want a business that's I want to be in a place where my business can support me working 3 days a week, which is a different business model than being in something that's gigantic. Maybe the money is what I'm thinking I have to have, but really I want a business that runs very efficiently on its own, where we can be a one-to-many business as opposed to a one-to-one business. So I think it's really important that you sit down and look at what it is that you want, that life you want to live, like you said. So that goal, what does that life look like? And then we can set all these other pieces. But I've made the mistake so many times of saying, I want to make $1 million. Well, what does that look like? What is my business doing when I'm at that level? And I made the mistake of just, duplicating or tripling what my work output. Now I'm working 3 times as much. Yes, I'm making more money and I probably hit that goal, but do I want that life? No.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the question too, right? Is like, you have to count the cost. So no matter what, you're saying the 1 million goal, and that's like the most famous goal, I think, by every entrepreneur out there, is like, I want to make $1 million. And it's like, do you need $1 million? Number one, because you probably don't. Let's be really honest about that. And then, and if you do, maybe you should look at your spending, getting crazy over here with the yacht, right? Whatever. But also, are you willing to charge more? Are you willing to bring more value to the table so that you can charge more? Are you willing to get the education so that you can bring that value, right? Like, there's so much involved with the goal. And so many times we just look at the goal, what we want, right? And we forget that, okay, everyone who got there, the people who are millionaires, billionaires, the people who, have this fit body, who, whatever, I think it's easy for us to be like, well, she was just born that way, or, well, that's for them. Like, are you so special? You were born with a special gene in your body that you can't make $1 million. Like, it's so special. I don't know what it is. Right. But no, that isn't it. It's that we have given ourselves an excuse as to why it's okay for them, but not okay for us. The reality is we're not willing to do what it takes to get there. Like, I can be very honest about that. I see a girl at the gym, she looks amazing, but I also know she eats
lives there
food and lives there. And that's not the life I want. So I'm okay with not looking like that. Now, I know that there is a compromise. I know that there are other things I can do, but that is not my goal in life, because I don't want to do that. I like meat. I like, having a cookie every now and then. So let's be really honest, right? That's not the status I want. That's not the responsibility I want. Okay. And so
but it goes more than the goal. It's more than that direction that we're headed, or that vision. And let's just say, for me, we know what that goal looks like 3 days a week, work week, right? How? There's more to the how part, right?
Yes. Okay. That's good. So now that you understand, so we'll go with your goal, right? So your goal is that you want to make a certain amount of money, have a business that supports you so you can work 3 days a week. Now, the question is, how are you going to make that happen? Right. And this is where how are we going to hit this goal? Right. So we first figured out what the goal is, and we got clear on it. The second step is how.
But I didn't get clear, because I have to figure out how much money I have to make in order to work.
Oh, okay. So sorry, we didn't start with your goal. I thought you had $1 million goal.
But let's go with $1 million. I mean, I could definitely stay home for that. Let's just say, okay, no, but you know what? More realistically, 500,000.
Okay.
That's all that I need.
500,000. Okay. So your goal is that you want to be able to work 3 days a week, make $500K a year. Okay. That's the goal. And you understand the sacrifice or the things that are going to come with that. Meaning, you're going to have to work on pricing more. This is me speaking to Tessa directly.
Ouch. Yes. I underprice myself every single time.
Yeah, she does. She's always like, I think maybe you should price this. Okay, I will.
Oh my God, work for free. That's pretty much what it ends up being.
And then you don't have the time to work for money.
No.
So it's like, but okay. So with that said, now is the how. How are you going to make that happen? And this is where you start looking at, like, how am I going to make that happen? Am I going to take on more clients? Am I going to raise my rates? Am I going to focus on, like, obviously as a strategist, and not just a goal setter, but as a strategist, I look at, okay, what's making the most money, the biggest, that gives me that freedom. Like, what's the biggest bang for my buck? So for example, we have, strategy sessions that cost anywhere from 6 to 10 grand, but that's one time, right? So we could do that over and over again, but it also takes a lot of our time. So it might be just a meeting with a client, but then in everything else that's happening behind the scenes, it requires a lot from us, right? We're doing a lot of research, market research, where, there's a lot happening. Now, with that said, is that really, like, it makes sense? Okay, $10,000, and we do this many times. Does it make sense? No, it really doesn't.
Because we can only take so many in a month because of how much work goes into it.
Yeah. So then it becomes, okay, well, what does make sense? Now, here's what's crazy is that there's a halfway point. And does that make sense? Actually, no. Our cheapest product makes the most sense to focus on, which might sound crazy to some people, but we can serve way more people in our mastermind than we can in our done for you, in our, whatever it is. And those at the done for you and at the strategy cost, they require us, we pay people, right? We have people that work for us that we're paying to do these services. So then our profit becomes narrower. So understanding how you're actually going to make it happen is going to help you actually succeed. Right?
I think this is the part that I've been missing, because they say SMART goals set these times. That part of the breaking it down into little pieces is not in the typical way that we're taught to do goal setting. Yeah. And I feel like I've failed in so many times of trying to hit goals that I actually literally reject the goal setting as a whole. But the way Kai explains it with these chunks and habits, right? It's the littler pieces that are coming into this bigger goal. Just even like, what's the first step you have to take? Like, yes. And that goal is so big, it's hard to even figure out, like, how do I even hit that? I guess I should start making some sales. Like, you just don't know what the next step is.
But I love that you went down that path of, okay, I need to start making sales. Like, that's so vague in itself. So how are you going to make those sales? What are they going towards? So really what you're doing is, when you think of the how, you're coming up with all of the questions that you don't actually know the answers to. So you're writing those questions down, like, how am I going to do it? And you're answering those questions so you can really get down to, like, well, what's the first thing or the biggest bang for my buck? And then,
and I love how you explained, like, if you were on that farm scenario of, like, I want to own a farm, like, where's this farm going to be? How much is this farm going to cost that I have to buy? Like, am I going to be in Hawaii, or am I going to be in Tennessee? Like, there's a difference in the price. So I love that analogy for just some random other examples, not just the money one, because I think a lot of us do the money one, where our career, we want our career to go. So you're asking yourself questions about, like, what does this actually entail? And how do I get this to happen? And then do you just write down a list of these questions and kind of prioritize them?
Yeah, I would. I would write it down, because really what's happening is you're kind of working backwards, right? The goal was the target, and then you really got clear on what the actual target was. So we can, kind of like, if you're thinking of, like, of archery, right? You're getting clear on, like, and I'm sorry if you guys have never, but like the wind, how far it is, like, all of these things matter to how you pull, to how you aim. It's the same thing with our goal. All of that stuff matters to how we set ourselves up for success. When you just have a goal, I want to lose weight, I can already tell you you're going to lose. Done. Like, you just lost that goal. You might lose the weight, but you might also gain 20 pounds back, most likely. Right. And so really understanding the what is very crucial. And now the how is really digging into what are we missing in this picture. So maybe I thought I was clear. The how is going to make me very clear. Right. And it's also going to give me the process, like the actual action steps come from the how.
Gotcha.
Right.
Action steps.
So when I'm writing all these questions, then what's happening is, okay, so how am I going to, make 500K? Okay, well, that's a great question. I should probably think about I need to sell more. Okay, well, what am I going to sell? Oh, okay, well, let me do the math on all this. Okay, so this makes the most sense. Well, what does that mean? That means I need to get this many people in. Like, so you know what I mean? Like, you're kind of asking, and as you ask, you get more and more clear about, like, okay, now I understand I have to sell, 100 of these mastermind spots per month or whatever it is, right? And how am I going to do that is I'm going to host an event, or I'm going to DM people in whatever it is, right? Like, that's how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to DM this many people a day. Like, see how granular it gets, right?
Right.
It's not, I'm going to make 500K. It's what the action step is, I'm going to, sit on my computer for an hour a day and DM people.
It is,
right?
it comes down to little habits. But before we go in, I know we have a worksheet that's really fun where you can play with numbers. And so I'm just going to mention it. And if you want that worksheet, you just put in the chat. I think it was forecast, right? I think it's like financial forecast that we have. She's like, I have no idea where it is. I know we have it. And it's one of my favorite things to play with. Because it has, if you have this program and your total goal is this. So just put financial forecast in the chat and we can get that over to you, because I think being able to know how to make numbers happen in your business is super helpful, especially when you're setting goals. Because now I have to go use it myself, because I'm going to figure out how. I mean, I know how we're doing this because we have goals as business owners, but I think it's important for us to understand how we each get to the end goal. But love that worksheet. So sorry, go ahead. I know that this is the best part.
Yeah. So this is the part that is actually where you win or lose the goal, right? So if you're going to achieve it or not is in this last step. So we figured out the what, we got super clear. We figured out the how, we got even more clear, and now understand what are the action steps that we need to take. Maybe it's learning something new, maybe it's whatever it is. Okay. But now we got very specific with that, right? So we said the how was, okay, I'm going to do outbound marketing strategy. And then we got specific, which meant, well, what does that look like in your daily life? Right? So I'm going to do outbound marketing for 1 hour a day for 5 days a week, and I'm going to reach this many people. Okay. Now we have numbers attached, which is always important. So if it's a money goal, if it's a weight goal, having numbers attached, like I'm going to go to the gym 3 days a week or 5 days a week or whatever it is. And then that's like, we're getting very specific. So we have an accountability. It's not like I'm just going to go to the gym, because if I go to the gym next week, then I already win, but I didn't lose the weight. So it's not actually setting me in the right direction. So what is the actual thing you're going to do? How much time is it going to take? Or how much money are you going to save? Or how much of your debt are you going to pay off? Or whatever it is, but there should be a number of some kind attached to it, right? Some type of metric that you can measure.
KPI, key
KPI.
performance indicator. If you're hitting this.
Yes.
And I just have to say, because Kai mentioned this, outbound marketing is a forever thing. So if you're wondering why I can't get sales, if you don't have outbound marketing, or you're, going out to get that audience, that's a big reason why. So
and that's where lead generation starts, which I think people forget.
Outbound marketing, you always have to be delivering and selling at the same time.
Yes, exactly. So with that, I got very clear. I got granular. I know the numbers, what the KPI is, the metric I'm looking at that will tell me if I hit my goal today or not. Like if I, did that micro goal. Now, here's the part that matters. This is the part where you're going to win and achieve this goal one day, or you're not going to, right? This is where it is all defined, is in the habit that you set every single day. It's actually not about the goal. Now it comes from the goal. So now let's say she just said, okay, I'm going to DM, I'm going to do outbound marketing, for 1 hour a day for whatever. So the habit that we're setting is that we want, right? The habit we want is that we're going to do this activity for 1 hour a day. So if I'm already not doing it, so for example, I don't typically do the DM part of this. So for me, I'd have to start at, okay, I need to like actually start smaller because 1
Open
hour
the
is very
program.
intimidating. Yeah, like open the program. Like, and I'm not joking, okay?
No, it's very serious. Like,
It's very serious.
like
Yeah.
get the learning out of the
Yeah.
way,
So
or
I'll give
even
you an
have help to
example.
learn how.
Yeah, I'll give you an example of when I was trying to go to the gym. So I used to want to be able to go to the gym after work, right? This was in my early 30s, and I wanted, okay, I'm going to go to work, then I'm going to go to the gym. And so I would bring my gym bag with me. I already had a membership, you know, I had my gym bag in the car. And then I would go, no, I didn't even have my gym bag in the car. I have it packed at home, so it's already ready to go. My clothes would be laying on my gym bag, you know, all that stuff. So then I would get home, and then I'd be like, oh, well, I'm just going to rest for 15 minutes, right? So I would do the gym bag part, but I didn't actually go anywhere. So then I had to make the goal smaller. It wasn't just like I need to go to the gym every day. It was like, okay, like how's about I just get to the gym, right? So then I would bring my bag with me in the car and go to the gym. And so I would, you know, think, okay, I'm failing because I'm not doing it. Okay. So I would get to the gym. So that was the first thing I had to accomplish, is just getting to the gym and making that the habit. So that could be going on for like a month, just showing up. Now, most of us are going to be like, I don't want to keep wasting gas, so we're going to move to the next step, right? So then it's like, just get into the gym and put on your gym shoes. So this was also too hard for me, if we're being really honest. So I actually had to, before I even left work, change into my gym outfit, go to the gym. And then the first thing I had to do was just 1 minute of exercise. Just one. That's it. If I did one, it was now my choice if I wanted to keep going or leave. But that was the only thing I had to accomplish in order to be successful in establishing a habit. That's it. And so I would do that consecutively until it became a habit. Like, you know how when you drive somewhere, like you automatically just go on that road? That's the same thing. So that's what a habit is. It's not like I'm forcing myself every day. I did it until the point where it was just normal for me to already be in my gym clothes. I was already at the gym. I was already on whatever workout machine, and that was it. And then I would increase my habit. Okay, 1 minute. How about 5? If I couldn't do 5, then 2, right? And so it would just be a gradual increase. But now I've established the habit of being at the gym and working out. Now, everything else after that is just an increase in what I'm doing. But the habit was that I had to establish. There were certain small habits. First, putting on my clothes at work, driving my car to the gym. That was the next habit. Getting out of the car and onto a machine. That was actually the hardest habit to establish. But these were the habits that I had to create in order to actually get to the goal of, you know, of
It's
the
a
weight loss.
routine. It's
Yeah,
just part of you. It
exactly.
becomes part of you. But how many of us do that? We're like, we're going to do outbound marketing. We're going to go do social
Yeah.
media. But we've given ourselves like this huge goal of like, I'm going to go daily on
Yeah.
social media, but you haven't even learned how to do the first part of like, I have to create a post, like, and you know, create the image or whatever it might be. So you post like 2 or 3 times, and that just overwhelms you, and you quit because you didn't have a habit of just simply create. Like, maybe it is go into Canva and create something on a daily basis before you even put it on social media, just so you know, hey, I can make content. Like, start somewhere easy for you, and just like getting to the location or getting the clothes on. Like, we don't think that it's that hard. And yet when we're right in it, we get discouraged by the littlest things. So I love that you covered this, Kai, today. I was like, yay, go.
And here's one thing that I think people should understand about the habit setting. The habit starts where the obstacle begins. Right? So if you don't have a hard time like getting to the gym or just starting, then that's okay. The habit starts where the obstacle begins. If it's like, okay, lifting the weight, because I understand what is like the more clear you are at every aspect, the better you're going to, the more likely you are to succeed. So for example, if I always go to the gym and I know that weights are going to really be what helps me, but I'm afraid of using weights, well, then why am I afraid of it? Because I don't know what to do. Okay. So now I know that my education needs to start, right? I need to be educated on like, what can I do? Is it getting a personal trainer? Is it finding somebody that I can go with me to the gym and show me these things? Like, what does it look like in order for me to get over the obstacle? That's the first habit that I need to focus on. So your habit, it doesn't mean just because like I had to start with putting on my clothes, that may not be your obstacle. Your obstacle may be that you're just afraid to do the thing. So what's going to get you over that fear that becomes a habit for you? And maybe it is that you're going to hire someone or get your best friend who's like great at this thing to come with you to the gym every day until you feel comfortable doing it on your own, right?
Yeah. Bottom line is like getting help, right? I mean, like for a couple of reasons too. If you're doing this journey on your own, you don't have anyone to turn to, or when you get discouraged, you don't have that person kind of get you up and push you. So I think the big thing about goals is telling someone else what your goal is and kind of checking in with them. It's accountability. It makes us all do better for sure, because we have someone that you have to. We have a goal. We have an accountability class or a group that we go to. And we were talking about having to give ourselves consequences sometimes, which I think is funny, but it depends on the person, and you're motivated by different things. But I think get help. And if you haven't followed what Move to CEO does, like that is what we are. We are cheerleaders in your business, and we help to support you along the way. So for sure, follow us. And I didn't want to cut you off though, Kai. No, if there's anything else, I mean, you guys definitely go back and watch this and let us know in the chat what your goal is for 2024. What is it that you're accomplishing? And I'd even give you brownie points.
Brownie points.
bonus brownie points. Okay, it's a brownie point. If you tell us your goal, how you're going to achieve it, and your action steps and your habits. So let us know and let us help be here for you for sure. And Kai has some little extras that she's gonna share. If you guys want, we do have some awesome goal setting things.
Oh yes, sorry. I'm like, what am I sharing more stuff? I could keep going forever, but I'm not going to.
We have some resources.
I love goals. I love talking about them, really.
Thankfully, Kai is the goal person. I don't think I can. She's my balance.
So for any of you guys who are interested in getting help with your goals, please, we have actually a really great accountability group that we're opening up at the end of December, beginning of January, and it's just $20 a month, but you can access us in the group all the time. So obviously not when we're sleeping, but you can go into the group and you can just get accountability in this little chat that we have going on. It's a private chat. So if you're interested in that, just comment below 2024. So that's 2024. That's it. And then we'll get you all set up. Okay.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll see you all next week. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Is it time for our silent